Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. Yar har fiddle-dee-dee. Being a pirate is a right. Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate.
On today's episode of Let's Talk FGO, Caldea Summer Adventure First Impressions. Also, new hunting quests in JP. Will they reveal the secret of the next event? The answer? Probably. Hello, I am one of your hosts. I am your designated Team Mom Omega. With me, as always, Camp Counselor Lucky.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're enjoying Fate Grand Order, aka a map leading to your heart. And while we here at Studio Mega like to bring you the latest FGO-related news and memes, we will be talking about current and future events with the JP and EN version of the game. So anyone not wanting spoilers should look out for tiny dinosaurs. I'm gonna clip that.
Tiny dinosaur noises.
Just tiny dinosaur noises.
Just thinking of like a meme image of just, oh yeah, that's going on the soundboard. It's great. Sound effects are great. Also,
Sound
by the
effects
way,
are
could have
great.
gone with Scoutmaster Lucky, but not sure. Not sure if Lucky wants to be the Scoutmaster.
I've been the Scoutmaster. I like scouting.
Alright. So you know retroactively, he's Scoutmaster Lucky.
Hee hee.
I could go back in the edit and make it that way, but I think leaving it this way is funnier. Just know that that's within my power to alter reality.
I mean, who knows? This could be a take 2 or a take 3 for all you guys know.
You'd never know. If I was feeling really spicy, I could do like some JoJo sound effects right now, you know. Cry, Zawado! And then play the sound effect. I'm not going to do that part. I know there's no way at 8 o'clock at night on a Friday night I'm going to be that enthusiastic for that. But I could, if I felt like it.
Just please understand the power we hold in our fingertips.
And again, chat knows that, or not chat, the viewers in the future know that, because people listening live like Lucky don't know that I put an audio insert before I even did the intro that's thematically appropriate. So there's even future shit they don't know about yet. The edit. Anyway, enough bamboozling about that. Let us continue our regularly scheduled intro. And remind you, this episode is brought to you by our patrons, like Admin Heart, Black as the G, Call Me Zed, Carlos, Dragon, Ferris, Flatus Icebird, Jeremy Vasquez, JDV, 9000, Just the Fae, John Sandoval, Starlight, Legendary Boss Hunter, Liam Kessler, Regent Raptor, Rights of Kenji, Rogue Robin, Sharvor, Shunfire, Some Guy Named Bob, and Baron the Crow. And if you likely do want to see us do more, consider supporting us on Patreon. I almost said do more on Patreon. That will also happen, but that's not normally how that intro goes. Anyway, you can join our Patreon. Hear more about that later, like at the end of the show. It's a great time. You could be here right now, live. Anyway. That's me being exhausted at myself, not at the patrons. You guys are lovely. Double thumbs up. Shiny smile. Ding! But that does mean we need to work through our regularly scheduled programming. Keep on going on with our things. Let's check in with everybody's favorite Kohai, Mash.
Senpai, 起きてください.
Because it is time for our regularly scheduled segment for Pro Tips. Wake the fuck up, Senpai. First pro tip. Hey y'all, did you know that International Talk Like a Pirate Day is on the 19th of this month? This is a true fact about our world.
Yep.
This is a thing that's real. I think the event will technically be over by then, but it's still funny. Y'all.
We have a lot of international days.
Is there an
I
International
swear like
Talk
every
Like a
month, I
Ninja
swear like
Day?
every month there's like a National Ass Day and fucking Twitter goes fucking wild.
Yeah, that there are days for Twitter trends for like, you know, legs, boobs, butt, whatever. I don't know. I feel like there's like you said, there's like 3 of them every year. I'm not gonna fight it, but like,
I'm not
it's
gonna
nuts.
fight it, definitely not.
So, some make sense. Like, I'm pretty sure July 4th is like International Artists Draw, you know, Stars and Stripes Bikini Day. Okay, cool. I understand that one. Some of the other stuff, I'm just like, what? Anyway, I have a second pro tip, which is slightly more relevant to FGO. Do not forget to buy your treasure maps. They are in the store. They are not very expensive, and this is how you get a lot of treasure chests to start. Obviously, you can farm treasure chests in free quests, but those rates aren't super good until you get, you know, the CE that improves the drop rate, and you have access to higher quality free quests. So, for now, remember to buy your treasure maps and do the special quests they offer. They're not really that tough, and you get big boy treasure quests.
Big
Oh,
boy.
it ends exactly on the 19th? It might. It is like 3 weeks. That's funny, if true. Leave in the comments below if you fact-check this thing. But yes, that be the pro tippery. So, that means we can move on to Records on the Throne, or Dream Topic.
Yeah, so I will take the lead here. So, Lucky, that's me, had 300 quartz saved up. I had been going with the intent on saving for Banner 3 for this exact summer, But FGO NA did the bamboozling, and they threw a Tamalancer raid up at me. For those of you who know, Lucky, I've had a Tamalancer, but I've had an NP1 Tamalancer. I've had an NP1 Tamalancer since... Please, hang on. I need to remember to switch the way my headphones, because I usually go one ear on, one ear off.
Mm-hmm.
For some odd reason, I always do the one ear on the one that's near the microphone. I'm like, I shouldn't do that. It's dumb.
Oh, yeah. That's instinctively not how I do my headphones when I do that. I always take the one I don't need to worry about smacking.
Yeah. Anyway, I've had an MP1 Tamalancer since, the first summer event ever. In year, technically 2, of FGO. And she's just been NP1 this entire time, and every time I see that number, I am offended. I am offended for her, and I am offended at myself.
That means for a long time, I've had more NP levels in my summer Tamamo than you had.
Yeah, I know. That's why I die every single time when you're like, I don't need any more summer Tamamos. I'm like, ah!
Listen, I got my 2 out early. I wasn't even trying.
So, I decided that I would make an attempt. And I am happy to report that the attempt was successful. With 180 quartz gone out of my 300, I was able to pick up a Tamalancer, bringing her to the healthy total of NP2. And I think we've talked about this before. Usually the jump from 1 to 2, it usually has the biggest jump in damage that you get with diminishing returns going along the way. So, for right now, I think I will be happy. For now.
Yeah, usually your biggest jump in the damage multiplier and in your overcharge effects. Also, you can actually overcharge with NP2, which is important sometimes.
Yes.
Yes, as somebody said in chat, sometimes fights like to eat your NP, which is very rude.
So rude. But the thing so my original intent was not to roll on the first banner for the summer. Like I said, while I do adore Corday and I find Okitan amusing, it's like I'm eyeing banner 3 and going out like, summer comma. But Summer 3 ain't gonna show up for like a week. People are saying it's probably not going to drop until maybe next Wednesday. And a week is a long time not to have CEs.
Correct.
So I decided that I would spend the rest of my remaining quartz on maybe picking up some CEs. And I got what I like to call the tingle. I don't know if anyone else gets the tingle. The tingle is basically when you have a moment, you do something, and you realize that the fucking universe has aligned with you this moment. You know, when you look at something and you know, whatever you are about to do, it is going to go extremely right. That's the tingle. Lucky had that tingle. First roll, I pulled Charlotte Corday and some CEs. I was like, oh. Second roll, I pulled a Summer Stacy. And some CEs. Third roll, Emiya. But then another Stacy. And then on the fourth and final roll, I pulled 2. Yes, 2 Saber Okitan. Excuse me. 2 Summer Okitan. 2 Summer Okitan and Rengoku. And some CEs. I'm just like, oh. So, if everything goes according to plan, I will probably yet once again have another full set of Summer Servants, despite my insistence that would not happen this year.
Well, you know, to be fair, Lucky, and this is the true power of a desire sensor, you weren't trying.
No, I wasn't. But with that done, I did manage to get Summer Corday and Summer Okitan Smile protected. I will probably be working on Summer Stacy here soon.
Mm-hmm. So, you know how Lucky said that it's, hard to wait a week for CEs? So I went into the ticket bank to get some CEs before actually rolling out for next week's banner. Having, seen a couple days worth of this event and some bonus chapters, I feel no remorse in saving my Saint Quartz for that banner number 3, technically. But in about 10 tickets, I was able to score the Tyra CE. That's the 4-star CE, aka the bestest one. And also a Summer Stacy. So we're just going to put that one in the W column and go home.
Nice.
My Summer Anastasia is not yet fully leveled because they keep asking me to put my temporary Da Vinci Chan in the front line, so I've been feeding her all the EXPs I've been getting when I can, because, damn. Even for a ruler, that's rough. Literally, first quest with her, it's like, hey, send out your level 1 child to die. And I'm like, please don't make me do that, FGO. That's very rude. But yeah, so all in all, so far, positive energy in this summer. We'll see if that continues.
As we
Next week.
As we switch over to Not All the World's Evil, but Damn Close, guys, I'm really worried about my Banner 3 look right now. Like, I'm pretty sure this is what happened on the Year of 13 Mamas. Got everything in the first banner super eerie, could not get a fucking maid altar to save my life. I am concerned.
I don't like to talk about that year of summer. That was a bad summer. I think my 2 units from that are still only like NP2 or 3 Summer Nobu, and then 1 maid altar I got years later on a GSSR. It's a little dangerous.
That's a little dangerous,
we'll see how we happening.
It's still be happening. Like I said, my wallet is in double danger because over in Nikkei, the Nier Automata collab is going on, and there's more money to be spent there. And I'm like, I don't want to spend money, but I look at the stuff in there, I'm like, I'm going to spend money. So
enough bandanas for Teacher's costume. Let's go pop that right
let's
now.
go.
Hi, summer gentleman. Yeah, my wallet's not really in any danger because I'm paying off this very shiny, glitched out computer. So I just will not be spending money in that way this month. I'll save it for a future budgeting opportunity. Stay tuned for Skelegrams. But yes, with our notations, that does mean it's time to move on down. Speaking of getting some Saint Quartz, to did you finish your master missions? They're very simple this week. Crazy simple. Like, I don't even... These don't even feel like event ones. Like, you could do this anytime. But to do them all, you need to get 15 EXP drops. So basically, obtain any of the 5 levels of experience items. Flames, as in a battle. Then do that for 30 EXP. Defeat 15 enemies with the Earth attribute, then 30 enemies with the Earth attribute, and then 15 each of humanoid trait enemies and male enemies. You can absolutely do this in the event. You can also do this prior to the event. If you're really waiting for those EXP drops to hit, you can also just do dailies. You can do any level of dailies. Literally, you can do the 5 AP one a couple of times and probably get it out of the way. Also, no. Axe asking isn't banner 3 Doman. No. There's 4 banners, at least. 1, dudes, which is technically 2. And then 3, ladies. Secret 4th, Doman. A banner I will be avoiding like the plague. But yes. Also, honestly, not that much of... Having played the literal first 2 days of this time-gated event, that banner's not really that much of a secret. Thanks, Ominous Shadows. But yes, to do your master missions, just do the event. You'll get them. Regular-ass pirates or humanoid. There's some males in there. There's plenty of Earth attribute enemies. You'll be fine. And that doth mean that it's time to talk about, as I said before, Skelegrams. News items for the week. We did indeed have FGO Caldea Broadcasting Light number 2. It's just Albert and our new community man. Well, he's been here for a while, but the one many people make the Jesus jokes about. Michael is his name. I forget his last name at the moment. I'm sorry. I'm terrible with names. But they did a short stream. I think it may actually have been live. We were in the middle of streaming award-winning MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV, which you can view that stream VOD on our channel. But I skimmed it later, and it's just they announced summer stuff as you would expect. Showed some intro to the event. Played you bits of the first quest, did a description of what's going on, showed the CM. Let you know about bonus servants, mechanics and stuff, showed some NPs, all of our personal, normal stuff to do. If you, want to catch up on our version of that, we did the pregame last week. If you go to the playlist and go to the bottom where this is, you go 1 up. We did get our 6 social media Saint Quartz, though, as pretty much everybody expected, but, got a little Saint Quartz infusion. And our first impressions of the event are to follow after the mailbag break. But yeah, just, summer is proceeding as normal. Now over in JP, we've got a little bit of a humdinger. Hunting Quests Part 13, running from the 1st until the 16th. That's right. 2 weeks of Hunting Quests. Spicy. It's time to hunt. Log in for a total of 7 days to get some gold apples. There's also some limited time master missions which give you teapots, 5-star EXPs, and the QPs. I believe it's like 3 million QP per pop. And I'm pretty sure these are just the, kind of like what we just did with our hunting quests. Just do 1 of the hunting quests a day of each type, and you'll get this reward. So, that's nice. Also, all summer servants have 30% bond bonus during this time, and a selection of summer servants, a list which may be eerily similar to another list I'm going to read out shortly, will appear as, like, bonus story support during the hunting quests. So it's kind of like a baby trial quest thing as well. Our first round is skeletons. Pretty normal, but always appreciated. I haven't seen people freaking out about weird new mobs yet. Usually they save that for a couple of quests in, but generally when JP does these new ones, there are some random enemies at the tail end who, will give you a clue as to what's happening next. For instance, during the hunting quests we just got, you may remember there were some magic sticks in there. That's because while it wasn't an event, the little tie-in for the Prisma movie that involved, the Ilya raid-up banner and the rank-up quests and her costume and stuff, that was, teased just before that. So there will be things and stuff. I think there was a hunting quest before Lost Belt 4 that had the giant Ganesha statues before she came out as well.
Yep.
So usually we can pick up some sort of a vibe. I think there was another hunting quest at a different time that, like, had pumpkin enemies in it, stuff like that. Like, definitely if you see any weird Nobu-type enemies, that's almost assuredly a Gouda Gouda is around the corner sign. That has happened a couple of times, I think. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for whatever's going to be our next event in JP. And as I mentioned, there's a fuck ton of summon banners. This is incredibly funny because literally, like 2 days ago, I called my shot on this in Wanted. So the banners you're looking at are, and these are rotating, by the way, so they're not open the full time in. They're only open for a series of dates in here, but you have a banner for Majin Okita Summer, Saber, with Charlotte and Anastasia, a Summer Kama plus Canis banner, a Summer Kiara plus Summer Ilya and Bryn banners, a Summer Abby plus Summer Tomoe and Murasaki banners, and just Summer Bibi, who is all by herself for some reason. I wonder if they gave rate-ups to the SRs normally on her block at a different time. But yeah, no, if you listen to the, speed mode Summer Splash one I just did for our first banner for the summer event, of which there will be a second part coming, next week, as you might expect. But, yeah, I mentioned in that in addition to the fact that Eon Clairvoyance is always shaky, we literally just had a extra summer summon banner in, the Eon version of the game out of nowhere just before this one launched. Bamboozled many people. But also, I did mention that Lasengal and the general VJP servers have been on a tear of giving rank ups to SSRs who haven't been getting them in a while. So, hey, it's most of the, Gesundheit. Most of this summer crew is being rated up. Double Gesundheit. Yeah. I'm not quite sure why Summer Nagiko is not on that rate up. I don't know if she got like an extra rate up for something else sometime that I don't recall right now. But yeah, no, we've got some heavy hitters of a banner, so there's more stuff flowing, and I think almost every summer unit's gonna have had a rate up sometime this year in JP, which is pretty cool. But yeah, no, lots of time is a flat circle and all that, everything's looping back around, and so these are some pretty good banners to keep your eye on. And there's that. Unfortunately, that is all of our news.
Don't worry, it's gonna be the calm before the storm. Oh, we have no idea what they got planned for this year's Halloween, and we got a whole month of stuff.
Oh, and also we should actually say, because that was in the thumbnail, but I don't know what it was, like, what it's actually, like, linked to, but there is a new Mana Prism CE being just added to the game, I guess, with this update. Yes, President Ocean.
I believe it's QP, Master EXP, and something else, actually. What was it?
Yeah. No, it's just, it's also got some friend point stuff in there. So,
friend points.
Normally, it increases your, when it's max limit breaking only, it gives you plus 25 friend points when used from support, and also gives you 2.5% increases to Maxter EXP from quests and QP drops. So,
we just got the Pepe CE.
Mastering and in there. Yeah, we got a new Peppa CE coming. But yeah, so that's I think just with this hunting quest update they tucked that in, but it's just part of the normal time for Mana Prism CE rotations. But yes, that is the end of the news.
That is the end. That's all there is. There is no more. What is that from?
I'm not sure.
Was that from Madeline?
Might be.
Anyway, while Lucky goes down a nostalgia trip as he tries to remember shows from his youth, let us start this week's Let's Talk FGO Mailbag. the segment where we read what you have to say and comment accordingly. This week we have. I'm gonna refresh. I refreshed the wrong page.
Rip.
6. We have 6 lovely submissions. This is MB. My bad. I meant to actually post this yesterday so everyone can get in their initial summary thoughts, but I blanked. I'm not sure why I blanked, but I blanked. But I'm still super happy to have the 6 that we do. So without further ado, let's get started. Words. They escaped me today. Is it because I had tacos? Tacos. Tongue twisters.
But are they big fat tacos?
They are not big fat tacos. They were nice street tacos gotten from a good old taqueria. Actually, I don't know how to pronounce it. I've always pronounced it taqueria. But anyway, our first one comes from Blackbeard knows what he's doing. Yes, but actually no. Hey, Lucky Mega, hope you're doing well. I am loving these summer events so far, and it's been really fun to read. Can't wait to roll comma because that intro was more motivation than I needed. Same. Question, can you explain the number Technicolor comment Blackbeard made when he was complimenting comma? I assumed it was pirate code, and I found some treasure after removing a few numbers, but I'm not sure that was the original intent. Sorry, I just did a pan to you, and I'm eye narrowing.
Do I look like a pirate to you?
No. Removing some numbers to find treasure. What's the infamous 6-digit number thing about?
6 digits? I'm
Pretty
bad
sure
with
there's-
numbers.
I'm pretty sure it's 6-digit. Hang on, let me pull it up here.
I mean, I have a calculator, so I can do the calculator joke, but I don't actually know how many digits this is.
Let me just click a random one real quick here. Yeah, there's 6 digits. Well, if you don't get it, you don't get it, but I know what you're on about. But they finish, if you know, would love to hear it. If not, no problem. Good luck on your rolls and sending good vibes. Wah. Unfortunately, I do recall the joke. I do not recall the numbers. Otherwise, I probably would do some quick research. But I can say off the top of my head, it did not strike anything off the top of me head. Megan, would you happen to know the Technicolor number code joke?
No, I don't even. I mean, I remember all the jokes, but it's all kind of a blur. So, I mean, I can pull it up in event log right now, but it's probably long because it's all one block. I'll fast forward and see if I can catch when that introduction is.
It should be right after comma quote unquote saves you. But while Megan looks that up, we can move on to the next one. This next one comes from the Tyrant King, who is still baffled that he got 3 SSRs from his summer stockpile and only one was rate up. Hey, Straw Hat Lucky and Blackbeard Omega. I'm not much of a One Piece fan, so I'm kind of output by this nickname. With Samurai Remnant revealing the designers for all the servants in the games, what are your predictions for the servants' true names? Anyway, that's it for me. Sending good vibes. Wah. Your way, and hope you have a great evening. I do have a few predictions for some of them. Not all of them. But I can go through them really quickly here. I think that a lot of people assume this one, but our Saber, a lot of people and me are assuming that's going to be Yamato Takeru, very, very old Japanese hero, one of the wielders of can't remember the sword name now.
Well, the sword has like 3 names. Which one do you want? Kusanagi's the normal one.
Kusanagi. Well, I'll go with Kusanagi. I can tell you right now, I have no idea who the archer is. I'm assuming there's some sort of famous Chinese hero. Writer, we know that's Raita, and a lot of people have been going, we're getting a Raita Raiko. Well, I'm not putting that off the table. I think it would also be, and as much as I love Mama Raiko, I do think it'd be interesting to get someone else from the Miyamoto clan, maybe like, Yorinobu, her brother. Or even one of the Heavenly Kings we don't have. But like I said, so I'm kind of up in the air in that, especially because we have seen the design. You know, they are definitely, you know, they're a lanky person with like short purple hair, so it's probably someone from the Minamoto clan. But we never know. Caster, no idea. I'm not like I see this person. I'm just like I don't know. Assassin, my best guess is Orochimaru from the Tale of Gallant Jiraiya. Like I said, big snake vibe, controlling snakes, assassin, all the pieces slot right in. Actually, who did this? Let's see. Don Chow? DNCIAO. Is this their first servant? No. I don't know.
We should also note the writer does have the Takeda clan emblem on them. But which character designer would you want to double check? Caster?
Don. Yeah. Not caster. Assassin.
Okay. The Type Moon Wiki doesn't have the like little drop down boxes, but they do have everybody loaded in. Yes. Okay. So yeah, Assassin is. I mean, he's covered in white snake, so I'm pretty sure it's Orochi.
Mm-hmm.
Literally in a trailer, they're like standing on top of an Orochi. Okay, they were designed by Dantiao. Oh, Ivan and Shang Yu's character designer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Spicy.
That is a bit spicy.
Okay, so that means that Samurai Remnant Assassin's gonna do some real freak show shit.
I mean, he already got giant snakes, probably. So, then if you go down to the Rogue Saber, a lot of people have been thinking that due to the similar design aesthetic, it could be Lord Yoshinaka,
Rogue Saber's character design is just like the same color scheme and art style as Tomoe, just with hat on, so you can't see their face. So it's almost assuredly going to be somebody related to Tomoe Gozen, but is it Yoshinaka? Is it going to be their kid? I don't know, but it's in.
I also want to throw a wild card into that just for shiggles. That's shit and giggles conjoined, by the way. And say it could also be Sakanoe no Tamamaro, Suzuka Gozen's husband.
That would be very funny.
Yes.
Ooh, Caster was designed, not obviously. By the way, to clarify for anybody at home, there was one illustrator for all of them, but they were designed by somebody else first. So Caster was designed, regular Caster was designed by Paco.
Yep. Raita did writer.
Absolutely no ideas on this Caster, by the way. Other than there's got to be something with these fucking shoes. This guy has weird, like, fake stigmata stickers on his hands, and he's wearing bright red slipper shoes. It's weird.
Rogue Archer, Lancer, Caster, and Assassin, everybody knows. Apparently, I was actually surprised to hear this, but Rogue Rider, a lot of people thought that maybe Wada Arco didn't do the initial design, but no, she did. I guess just a bit of the transition from her style to Samurai Remnant style maybe lose a bit of her edge, bit of her distinctness. Also, I'm extremely pleased to know that Rogue Rider is also voiced by Chiwa Saito, and I'm just like, yes!
Yep.
Super excited about that.
But yeah, so we know, for the Rogue Servants, we know for sure, obviously, there's Arjuna, Ku, Tamo Arya, Kirki, and Li Shuen. The only ones who are new is, technically Tamo Arya is brand new, but we understand who she is, so it's the only ones whose names are hidden is Rogue Saber and Stray Berserker.
Yeah. So I do want to shout out Kirky. Apparently, I don't know when, but you do get turned into a pig by Kirky and get to run around as a pig for a while. I am excited for that.
Yes, you eat the Kyaukyan, and you shouldn't have did
that. But with Rogue Berserker, I do also have an idea. This one is done by Azusa, who is known for Achilles, Canis, and a few others.
Regular Herc, also your boy Zeus.
Yeah. But I think this might be Ajax the Great.
Yeah, Greater Ajax could be.
Yeah. Big hulking man, Berserker. Ajax the Great, while what was also a big hero of the Trojan War, did kind of lose his shit at the end when he didn't get the Achilles magic armor. So
yeah, he tried to defeat Odysseus in a thing, and that doesn't work. Especially because I think Ajax had done something to annoy Athena anyway. But yeah, I could see that.
You might be conflating that with Ajax the Lesser, if I remember correctly. Because there were two Ajaxes there.
There were two Ajaxes. The Lesser was the one who tried to compete for the armor.
But
he lost to Odysseus. Because Odysseus had to give the armor to Achilles' son for things. I'm also going to say with his bright green hair, I'm wondering also, could be Achilles' dad? He was supposed to be a hero in his own right, an Argonaut.
Really?
Yeah. With the super long giant hair, like, I think a lot of people saw this character design and thought it might be the character of Samson from the Bible. It could still be, but I feel like with the greaves and the sandals, like, I don't know. With character designers are not guaranteed, but they do have wheelhouses. Also, it's Azus is very cool. Good at what they do.
This is very long hair the more I look at it. It could be Samson. Because he also has the chains, because fucking Samson was at one point chained to pillars. Oh, and wasn't he tricked by a woman? Into losing hair?
Yeah, a lady did cut his hair.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna bump Samson up on my list. I wasn't considering that, but looking at the hair and the chains, because I was wondering about the chain motif. Yeah, I can see Samson. But
and obviously, there's still a big question with Lancer, because obviously it looks like Jean Alter, but they are not just saying it's Jean Alter yet. You know, we're still playing the vest level, so we will see exactly. That said, the intent for it to be looking like Jalter was designed by Takeuchi himself, so it would track. Also, I do love like we're talking about the servant, but I was actually looking at the profiles for the masters too. I was like, oh man, this is a colorful cast. I'm excited. Yeah, we got a lot of great people.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. That's
cannot wait.
End of the month?
I believe so.
Yeah, the 29th.
Yeah.
I do, like I said, I do have to watch my budget a little this month, but at the end of the month, that's a little closer. We got a little wiggle room.
Wiggle. Yeah.
Also, I mean, they didn't make me sign an NDA or anything. I did submit when the call for content creators came out. I did submit our channel and some information to see if they would float us a press code for PS5. We'll see if that happens also. They did say they were taking all comers, so that probably means they got a big backlog. Their requirements were pretty slimline, so we'll see what happens there as well. A pretender type situation? Yeah, it could be there.
It could be. But with that, let's move on.
But by the way, this section is very long. I am still scrolling through this dialogue to get to the part where Kama's involved.
Jeez.
I've literally just gotten to the part where she showed up and it's like, oh ho ho, who is this?
So we're gonna move on. This next one comes from Karibo of 7 Jacks. I say Karibo and I just hear the Karibo in my head, just constantly. But they say, happy Friday, guys. This round of summons initially shook me when my 7th Jack answered a call during my first 10 spin. So much so that I almost took it as an ill omen to stop and skip the banner as a whole. I was then able to convince myself that it was a sign of good fortune and that she just wanted to cosplay Jack Sparrow as we adventured through the Caribbean. Doing so led to a solid set of rolls fooled by the wanted catalyst. I know the both of you have had your own moments of being spooked, but have they ever your ill omen senses? If so, have you ever been able to overcome such senses and push yourself to keep going regardless? Cheers and good luck next banner.
I think I've talked extensively before. I've had banners where I've gotten bad vibes, where, you fire it up, you got all your sync quartz ready, you get a min roll. First card, Mapo Tofu, and you're just like, oh, okay. It's one of those. Usually, if it's early in the sync quartz, usually that just makes me mad, and I definitely give it another couple of spins to make sure that it's bad. If that happens after, several rolls already that have not gone anywhere, that's usually when I'm like, okay, alright. The banner doesn't like me. I know when to quit when I'm not ahead, but, to leave.
Yeah, Lucky's not that.
No.
Usually...
The banner tells Lucky to leave, and Lucky says, fuck you, I'm staying. I live here now.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm more I never really pick up bad vibes, but I usually am pretty good at picking up good vibes from a banner. See our Records from the Throne from earlier. The Tingle. But that is all from that. So, we move on. This next one comes from 55 rolls, 1 Summer Stacy, and a handful of 3 and 4 star STEs. Not bad, but could be better. Howdy, Luck and Meg. I meant to send the question in last week, but forgot and have slept since then, so don't remember it anymore. I'm excited to get Blackbeard's costume, and even though it only just started, I hope you're all enjoying the summer event and did better on rolls than me. Sending good vibes. Wah. And catch y'all later. Same to you.
Okay, I think I do get it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, it's not 6 digits that Blackbeard says. It's a lot more than that. Because he says 16777 which is 8 digits. But he mentions a Technicolor panorama. I think he's just trying to tell us what, those color bar images?
Oh.
Yeah, I think he's just describing what Summer Kama's color palette is. In a vertical slice. Why is he doing that? I don't fucking know. But that's my best guess when I Googled Technicolor panorama.
Real talk? Just shout out to Blackbeard. He was able to look at Kama and just pull out her fucking Technicolor panorama. Son of a bitch. I love it. I'm willing to believe that.
Also, this scene is just as good as I remember. All right, okay. Where was we?
I know where we was. The next one comes from Gahulian God, who says, first off, is the moon still a constant in all timelines of Fate? Because if so, on the chains Neil Armstrong ever becomes a swimmer, do you think he could be a foreigner for his space expedition as well as a moon cancer if during his moon landing he found the moon cell?
I mean, I'm pretty sure that would still count as moon cancer. But also, no, actually, this is explicitly mentioned. Only some timelines have the moon cell.
Yeah. Honestly, I do, and I think Neil Armstrong would probably, well, for one, he would not be a foreigner. He is not outside man's knowledge. In fact, you can say that, him going to the moon reduced the mystery of said mood.
Yeah.
It increased man's knowledge.
Technically speaking, Voyager is also supposed to be a member of a self-titled class. It's just that FGO was very smart and did not just make that a class. Because he still works as a foreigner. Little lad's, left Earth's solar system and is literally the farthest object from us that we've made, so he's going places, okay? He's getting out there. Doing a little blue dot. But that would probably be the qualifier, but I like the idea of the moon cancer as, the man who conquered the moon.
True enough. And I said, my original thought would he be just a writer with a literal pioneer to the stars.
Yeah. Could also absolutely do a writer. And then what is his, let's see. What would probably just the action, the shot would just be the fucking actual moon landing. You just land the capsule on the enemies, and he steps out. One small step for man.
One giant leap for potato salad.
He just fucking moon dunks on the enemies.
Moon dunk. Moon salts. Hey. From the top of the probe!
Definitely has one animation of just like the extra text, just like driving a moon buggy over enemies.
Oh. And so, we'll move on to our final one. This one comes from Agent 418, who says, hello, Lucky Omega, testing Lucky's theory from last week. Have a good weekend, y'all. No, this one's still at the bottom, so no, that's not the thing. The hell?
While they are not organized by recency, this is technically the most recent comment, so maybe that did it? I don't know.
There's tomfoolery and shenanigans about here.
Also, hey, shout out to your 3-year member badge. Nice.
Nice.
But yes, that is our Mailbag.
Mailbagoo.
That just made me think of a very obscure Flash cartoon joke that I decided not to reiterate because people would not get it. It was from the same group who did, Badger Mushroom, but I think that was one of the more obscure ones. Anyway, that was Mailbag. That means it's time for Caldea's Free Talk. Our first item today will be First Impressions of Caldea Summer Adventure.
Yeah.
First impressions are good.
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny how this is what, summer 6? This is the 6th summer event? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We're 6 deep, right? While parts of other summers have had some of this vibe, this is still like, I mean, we're like most of the way to a Goonies plot right now.
We are, actually.
Like, this, I know it's a late summer, but this feels like a, classic summer kids movie type plot, only with more fate stuff and nonsense, and Kama deciding to show up and blow up a cave so she can be praised.
Praise, Kama.
So, overall, the structure on this one, very good. There's a minute singularity in the Caribbean Sea. It's technically after the golden age of piracy, so there should not be so many pirates. That doesn't matter. There are still fucking pirates because, singularity stuff. Also, I'm pretty sure they picked, not just for the pirate part, but I'm pretty sure they picked the Caribbean Sea also because of the fucking space meteor, because there's dinosaurs in this. An adorable tiny dinosaur. He's great. Very based. But yeah, so, overall, a primo, introduction structure, already out of the gate, great gags. The back and forth with the initial squad and stuff, setting up, Da Vinci getting ready, and then Gordolph being sucked into coming along again, which is great. His little outfit is great. I love the sprite he has with his sunglasses on. I also like that he has to keep reminding us that he's only in his 20s. He's not that old.
He is not dad. He is not mom. Everyone just keeps giving him nicknames.
Yeah. Though, God, Blackbeard's great in this event, but also Blackbeard is doing his usual thing where he is saying a lot of really cursed shit. He calls himself BB at one point. I'm like, and you just both of your options are just don't do that. One of them is on second thought, don't say that, and the other is more like never do that again. But also he calls Da Vinci small mommy, and I'm just like, that doesn't sound right. It's not correct. But he's a cool guy. He's got a great costume for this. You get some extras added. They also do this thing with, so far they've done it with a couple of servants, but not all of them, which is interesting. I'm not really sure why they decided to go with this for some resources, but they actually do like a slow pan on just the full body sprite, on a couple of people. That happens for Anastasia, for Charlotte Corday, and for Kama later.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a little introduction scene, which is very nice. It's interesting, but it's a good vibe.
I think it's because they are trying to appeal to Masta. Because,
it's true, yeah.
Because unfortunately I don't have a regular Stacy. I've never, despite her being permanent, I have not pulled her yet. I know it's weird.
I'm sure we'll fix that one sometime, Licky.
Sometime. But so I was a little flabbergasted to see Summer Stacy coming on quite strong in the opening event. I mean, I knew Charlotte Corday was like that. Like, if you've seen her Valentine's, you're just like, oh, this precious child.
Yeah, I mean, normal caster Anastasia is by design more cool and relaxed. She's probably a little bit more in the not fully in the Kudere camp, but she is more that leaning, but still has obviously her prankster side.
Mm-hmm.
In my estimation, like I said, haven't really hung out too much with my own personal Summer Stacy, but so far a couple days into the event, definitely seems like she's going much more in the gremlin zone.
The gremlin zone.
I mean, her one skill, Shivsblick, is just her childhood nickname was just Imp. She is a downright fucker. Ready to rock. She's got her weird floaty doll with its eyes closed. V even did its hair, and gives her an umbrella because it's so goddamn hot, But normal Anastasia is friendly and does definitely have some of those vibes if you're interested in that, because she is a separate person. She hit some rocks in her snowballs. Yeah. She is not around, not afraid to fuck around and find out. But yeah, this one seems a lot more just on her, like I said, on her, trolling vibes, and still has her usual awful luck, as evidenced by the fact that she loses the whatchamacallit, the fucking, say an embarrassing story about yourself contest 4 times.
Yeah, I was a guy, so I didn't get that story.
Yeah. I switched back and forth. I should see what the male version of that is.
It's not that interesting, I'm gonna be honest, but the boys just talk about the weapons that they hate to get hit by the most. Achilles hates slings, because there was a fucker who was throwing everything from rocks to demon heads at him. Blackbeard hates gunpowder. What was Major Cardo's? Oh, demonic swords.
Okay. Both versions of that scene are pretty amusing. Yeah. So it's fun, but yeah, you get these little moments of splitting up and stuff.
Actually, I want to say that's almost like a interesting, almost a intentional mechanic. There's a lot of you making choices to go to one place or another.
And these choices do matter. You will get slightly different fights for a lot of these. But yeah, I kind of feel like the dev team was kind of jazzed after Lost Belt 6, where, for the first time in a long time, your dialogue choices had a really impactful part on the story. With that, concluding conversation with Oberon. So, there are quite a few things. There's even a riddle that you can choose to solve yourself. I mean, it's a very basic riddle. So yep. I pick the right answer. It's not that hard to figure out when they visually present it to you. So I don't know what happens if you fuck it up, but you just do it. There's a couple others where you can pick which group you go with to get a different fight and different things going on. So yeah, no, there's a lot of choices in this. And I guess that kind of fits the theme of exploring an adventure,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, if you fuck it up, Kama tells you to do it again. Okay. That's cute. We get our rewind powers again. That's
Kama is... I've only had 2 scenes with Kama, but she is already my favorite.
Yeah, so we get a strong showing. All of our summer lads are there right away. Yep. Mandricardo is a little slow to get involved, but we do drag him along. Blackbeard is, here immediately. And Achilles is there for speed. and also has the tiny Tarrasque. Also, I want to say, in general, this event's really great to Achilles. I like, because I feel like there's a lot of both funny but also historically, mythologically appropriate text here. There's a lot of things that go on with women, and Achilles just says whatever the fuck is on his mind, because a lot of them make jokes about it being because he's a Greek hero. I think it's just because he's Achilles. I would like to remind you, while Achilles was disguised as a woman, he was still enough of a dork to when Odysseus came to find him and presented not just, girly gifts like dresses and perfumes, but also swords and stuff. Achilles fell for it and was interested in the weapons and was immediately outed. And also then the lad spent 10 years in the Trojan War. Like, he doesn't know how to talk to girls. Like, and I genuinely think Achilles probably doesn't care.
Probably not.
Listen, he is a high speed, low drag boy. But yeah, so like there's a couple of jabs back and forth. Actually, no, I would say as close as Galpal was Briasus, but that's awkward. But there was probably some triangular relations involved there. Anyway, there's some good Achilles stuff, lots of good Mandricardo. We're introduced, like I said, to Charlotte Corday and Anastasia very fast. Both of them, bust into your room. Is it Anastasia who comes first and basically does the fucking joke from Fairly Odd Parents? I'm respecting your privacy by knocking, but asserting my control by coming in anyway.
Pretty
to which
much.
you can retort, what's the point of knocking if you're just gonna enter? She doesn't give a fuck. She's here to show off.
Yep. You get your sign, then Charlotte Corday comes in. She actually knocks and waits.
Yes. She's very polite, but she had the same idea.
Mm-hmm. And while they were discussing what to do because they both want your attention and decided that they would both take an arm each, you get stolen by Summer Nagiko.
Yes. Who? Oh, God. Oh, my God. Summer Nagiko. Summer Seishonagon. Oh, baby. You thought she was weird before? Becoming a berserker. Actually, Lucky, have you done all the treasure maps you can do and gotten the first side story?
No, not yet.
Okay. Everybody should do that if you haven't. But if you max out on your treasure maps, I think that are available now, you can do Nagiko and the 5 Nitwits, which is great. But among other things, it implies that she received her summer transformation from Space Nagon, which is Seishonagon from the Servant universe. So, yeah, no, she's fucking nuts right now. Like, her vibes are completely alien. She like flew beyond the cringe realm into the just, I don't know what's happening anymore. Also, it's very funny. She does an in-universe ascension shift. Hopefully I roll one and I can double check, but while her swimsuit does show off a lot, I swear to God, when she does the mallet transformation, it looks like her boobs are drawn bigger. And I was just like, hold on a second. I can't tell what's happening. I mean, she's wearing a bikini top in both, so no. That's not how that works. But yeah, no, like, it's, she's great. You get to use her several times in support so far, even though her banner's not out. One of her fucking attacks is sliding at the enemies on a pool floaty crocodile. It's goofy. Crazy. So she's great because, she is a complete madman.
Yes.
At a later point in that dialogue, in that side story, there is a moment where basically she comes charging off into the jungle and she's with the rest of the guys, actually, which is another interesting thing, is that she's more than willing to hang out with the dudes, because
I don't think she's put off as by Blackbeard as a lot of other people are. She just does not care.
Yeah. She gets Blackbeard's goat as much as he could possibly even dare to get hers. I mean, she's Seishonagon. She's truly unfazed.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like, at one point she goes charging off into the woods, and, like, Achilles is like, oh my God, she's gonna die. And then Blackbeard is like, no, she would be perfectly fine on a deserted island. Achilles is like, wait, no, you're right. She would, eat raw clams, and, he makes a reference to fucking Castaway. She would paint a face on a ball and call it, Karochi, and I'm just like, you right? Correct. She's giving everybody insane nicknames. I love it. I love this totally madman energy she's got.
Oh, I love Kanyan, though. I think that's my favorite one.
Yes. Which Canis says, "Do not call me that. I will kill you."
I'm pretty sure
that's not. Yeah, that's not gonna stop.
that
that dialogue hasn't come back around yet, but I'm fairly certain it's gonna happen again. And Cadence will probably be like, you know what, it is not worth it. So we set out, to set off this adventure to recover whatever's going on in the singularity. We've got a lot of great little adventure stuff. There's some weird pirates we beat up. We go to a pirate bar later. There's some, treasure nonsense. Oh my god, I just remember the part where Blackbeard is like, no, if you want to summon Master, you gotta use the right bait. QP! You being there for like 10 minutes are like, is that what you think of me? Like, oh, it's good. But yeah, Canis is a late addition, where, on the second day, Blackbeard summons the Queen Anne's Revenge, and he's like, oh, Master, there can't be two captains on my boat. That means we've got to fight. Oh. And we're just like, what? Fine, whatever. But he summons Canis, who's been there the whole time. I'm gonna be honest, so far anyway, I don't actually think there's any difference between Summer Canis and regular Canis. They're basically the same. The question is just, is Summer Canis having fun? Yes, that's it.
Yeah, no. Also, I think Summer Canis is a bit more tolerant.
Yeah. They seem like they're more willing to let things go than they normally would be, because, we're all just fucking around.
No. I do want...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go.
I mean, I have a sneaking suspicion we may be going the same way, but I do love when she shows up, she canonically says that she hangs out with Mordred.
Yes, I was gonna mention that. In fact, that she said that they invited Mordred along too, but Mordred said, and I quote, "Why the hell would I want to go fight Master for?"
No. Why would I want to fight Master, ass face?
Ass face, yes.
Yeah, no. Great stuff. Oh, there's the shot from the trailer, yeah. That happened. It's great. Lots of it. Like I said, lots of adventure movie cliches. Very good. Very good overall. Everything's great. And then our last introduction is Summer Kama, who, what's the way you phrase this? She's all offense, no defense?
Yes.
Yeah. By her own admission, she's trying really hard to get you to fall over into corruption. And if you won't fall, she'll pull you or push you or push you. But at the same time, she absolutely cannot dish out. She can't take what she's dishing out.
No, It gave me immense joy. At the end of the second night, she like, oh, maybe I should give you a lap pillow and sing you a bye. And you can't just be like, yes, please. And she's like, what?
Yeah, no, I did that too. I'm like, oh no, I already understand you. I fired off with the when she wanted to be praised. I fired off full blast right away, and just she starts blushing and wavering, and she's like, wait a minute, what? And then you're like, okay, cool. And I just imagine the Master just does a fucking like full plank body flop, into her lap, and Kama's just like, what? Hold on, wait a minute. That's not how this is supposed to go. And like she thinks about fucking with you in your sleep, and then is immediately like, no, that's too fast. No, I gotta slow it down. So yeah, that's great. We haven't seen much of them, but technically the villains have already been introduced. There's a weird small silhouette, and then there's very obviously Doman's silhouette, and apparently Doman is mass-producing Columbusi? Anyway, there's mass-produced Columbuses, and I love that joke later where they're like, aren't they kind of like honeybees? It does look like you have a stinger, and then Blackbeard's just like, that's his beard!
That's his beard! And I love the fact that he's all like, we are not putting Columbus and honeybeard into some of that. Honeybees are cute. I'm like, fuck yeah, Blackbeard.
No, yeah, so all kinds of nonsense we're getting involved in here. And we're only 2 nights in. This is a time-gated event. So we're not all the way in there. I do wanna say there is a little bit of a there's a serious undercurrent here. There's even though she is a major character who had quite a lot of screen time in Lost Belt 6, our most recent story event, there's a lot of focus on Small Da Vinci. We get excerpts from her journal. She spends a lot of time with Steggy. She seems to be having basically her own reverse version of Master Servant dreams, and is dreaming about what sounds like a dinosaur during, the big one. So, there's lots of stuff. Also, I know he doesn't speak English, but shout out to, big member of the team, Steggy, doing good work. Also, actually, hold on, that's another comment. Foe came along with us as well. When was the last time Foe came with us on Summer?
On Summer? I'm pretty sure he was with us last summer. Pretty sure.
I can't remember. I think he might have been. But Foe is kind of fickle with Summers. Sometimes he skips. But always good to see him. Especially, again, after Lost Belt 6, where Foe was straight up like, no, I'm not going. So yeah, no, this so far has been a great event. Very strong characters from everybody. Good cameos from previous summers as well. You know, when Summer Okita is introduced, because we haven't talked about her a lot. Nobu is there as well. Also being a summer berserker, but somehow being much more reasonable than Nagiko. And we're introduced to Majin Okita Summer, whose sword has spontaneously manifested as a small child. Despite their smallness, Rengoku is clearly the brains of this operation.
Honestly, I was looking at it. It's almost like a reverse Ryoma situation.
Yeah, where Oreo is the strong one, but also the spacey one.
Yeah,
and Ryoma's reasonable. Yeah, it is kind of like that. They do actually explain why swimsuit Okitan is drawn slimmer. She literally lost some of her body mass to make Rengoku.
Yup.
So they're kind of a duality, but they're out there doing business, eating food, hitting things with swords. All in all, very strong showing. Yeah, so I'm eager for more.
Rengoku is male, but he did get a girl body. He doesn't seem particularly fussed about that fact though.
I mean, I'm fairly certain, masculine or no, we should remember Rengoku was originally a sword. So I don't think he's really fussed about it. But yeah, so and like I said, there are these these side stories you can get into as well, for extra stuff. So that'll be really good to get to fire through and see some more stuff. Because like I said, I've done the one of Nagiko and the 5 Nitwits, and that had good characterization stuff for not only our current cast but also some extra characters were tossed in there, and hopefully that will hiccup as we continue through the stuff, the steez. So we're gonna have a good time. Next week, we'll probably bring you, obviously, I think all the Timecodes will be done by next week, so we can probably do, I don't know if it'll be final thoughts, but, continuing thoughts. There'll probably be, like, a little welfare corner for Ruler Da Vinci. She is temporary for now, and her Ascension mats are locked to point ladder progress, which you can only go so ham on right now, so, we'll give that a little second to percolate. Also, like I said, there will be, if you haven't watched the Wanted for the first summer banner, that's already up. There'll be another one for the technically third, but the next set of swimsuit ladies when we go down the line. All right, that wraps up that one, I think, unless, Lucky, you got anything else you remember to point out about what we've seen with summer so far? Because there's just so much good stuff. There was a Anne Bonny and Mary Read bit.
I like those two, but I kind of wish they got a bigger bit in these things. Usually they're always just like a one-off villain thing, and it's weird.
Yeah, they have been kind of reduced to always being you almost always only see them in summer as a bit player.
Mm-hmm.
Which it's good that they get that reliable energy, because not every swimsuit servant comes back for more every summer.
It's true. We haven't seen Mistress C again yet.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking also, for instance,
well, technically we did, but she was a bit player.
Yes.
She was
well, obviously Osakawa Hime will still be in things. I don't think that Summer Osakawa Hime is going to pop out in this event. I mean, I could be wrong, but this doesn't feel like her scene doing a literal adventure, I kind of suspect that also, Summer Artoria Ruler won't come back. Regular swimsuit Artoria I don't think has been seen outside of Summer 1. So yeah, it's good that they do keep coming back. But yeah, I kind of agree that it is a little sad that, obviously we like these characters, but we don't really utilize them very deep. And often they are utilized as antagonists because that is their thing, is they want money or they want to steal Master.
Sometimes both.
Yes. But yeah, we will continue to see how things are folding out. Especially, obviously, as we're going to get more Kama shenanigans.
I'm excited for Kama shenanigans.
No, great faces.
Yeah,
good work. Also, yes, I did see a tweet from somebody who's servants looking for positive reinforcement. That does happen a lot. Lots of servants are asking if they look good. Everybody looks good. You're doing great.
Very great.
Alrighty. Well, like I said, we'll get back to you with more. But that means it's probably time to move on to our next one, which is Fanservant Friday. Technically a little late, because it is the first of the next month now, but, weeks are weird sometimes. And we did do a pretty decent showing last time with the pregame. Lost that word for a second, even though I made it up. Don't know why. But as voted on by the people, it was Nasu-No-Yoichi, who is attested to in, the Heike Monogatari.
Yeah.
One of the Minamoto samurai. So, that's that one. And probably after this goes up on Patreon, like either later tonight or tomorrow, I will roll out the next set of Fanservant Friday polls. Probably gonna continue some sort of the Watari adventure theme. I don't know if I got a lot of pirates in my current backlog, but we can work on some stuff. We'll see what happens. But this is technically spoilers for the Noble Phantasm later, but the main thing you probably heard of about Nasu-No-Yoichi, and the big one that is their anecdote in the Heike Monogatari, is during the battle at Yashima, the Taira forces are all in boats, but are completely surrounded by the Minamoto faction. So on the boats there is, attested anyway, there was a lady of the Taira clan. She, climbs one of the masts of their boats and ties her paper fan to the top, or possibly silk, but, ties her little fan to the top, and basically shouts back to the coast, "Bet you can't stick it!" As a taunt, basically saying, like, okay, you guys might have us surrounded, but you'll never hit us from here. We are safe. Get wrecked, nerds. To which, the commander of that battle, one Miyamoto no Yoshitsune, says, "All right, okay, bet." Calls upon Nasu-No-Yoichi, presumably because they were, the strongest archer among them, and Yoichi rides their horse out into the surf, fires a single shot, and pierces the fan, which basically signals the opener to the battle. The Taira forces would go on to lose the battle at Yashima and retreat from there to Den no Ura, which was their decisive defeat.
Yes.
So, not necessarily super pivotal, but a very important and famous specific anecdote that we've got some attestation for. So obviously, Nasu-No-Yoichi is an archer. Also, I should preface this by saying, when I did my research for sources for this and stuff, I've written parts of this profile in my notes to be basically ambiguously gendered. I think I did actually see some notes that, according to some descriptions, Nasu-No-Yoichi might have been a looker. Been described as handsome. Obviously, in history, they're recorded as male, but I'm pretty sure it's probably been an anime that's done a flip before.
All right,
sure.
I'm closing this survey. Axe is just going here ruining fucking everything. God damn it.
He's just fucking around doing stuff.
Yeah.
Build the wall.
I started a quest and I started sneaking through it, and Axe just came running through and just spooked 3 fucking zombies.
Well, listen, we know about questing. Okay, I'm coughing. All right. But yeah, so Yoichi is an archer. Alignment, I went with neutral good. There's not really any depiction of them being necessarily less than heroic. They're just kind of okay. You might even go with neutral, but generally the vibe from other Fate works is that the Minamoto side is portrayed positively. A pretty, middle of the road stats for an archer, while having decently attested fame, not necessarily a super important historical character. So strength C, endurance C, agility B, archers are supposed to be fast. Mana or magic power, magical energy D. A luck of C, middle of the road. There's going to be some back end florth, on how lucky they were. Noble Phantasm B+, it's a decent one. And we got some, they got some utility. Class skills, independent action B, very highly ranked for an archer. Archers usually get high ranks in these, and it makes sense. Also have is a writing B+, for reasons I'm going to talk about in a second. But in general, this is a time period where samurai were not known for swordsmanship. It was all about horseback archery specifically.
Yeah.
And in fact, this goes into their first personal skill I've got down. Kyujutsu, B+. The martial art of archery. Archery was considered a more valuable skill than swordsmanship, and so the way of the warrior was considered the way of the horse and the bow, as I said. So, very good at this archery, very good at this riding ability, because, in the anecdote, Nasu-No-Yoichi rides their horse into the surf, I can't remember, but I think it was, at least in the Heike Monogatari, it's also supposed to be, stormy and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that was just for dramatic effect, though. The Heike is quite embellished normally. But yeah, so Kyujutsu is very high level. I kind of base this one on other, skills for accuracy, marksmanship and stuff. We have various servants have these kinds of skills. So the ability to snipe singular targets, volley fire, rapidly fire arrows during combat, just all arrow stuff. They're pretty good at it. Second skill, Pure Land Sea. This comes from an interesting anecdote later. Yoichi was a decently important enough samurai to have a castle given to them after the war, but they lost ownership of this castle in some sort of hunting contest, I think, which is, weird. But after that, Yoichi joined the Buddhist sect known as the Pure Land and eventually founded a temple, which was passed through the Nasu family heir until the temple was destroyed in modern times. I think it was an earthquake, but it might have been in warfare. The Pure Land sect are interesting. They existed as a particular phrase of Buddhism for a long time. They basically believed that we were living in a time of, especially in Japan, a time of declined virtue, and that you could only normally you're supposed to be able to achieve nirvana through just like self-meditation, but because the phrase is in a period of declined virtue, you can only achieve nirvana with outside intervention. So they are constantly chanting thanks to the Amida Buddha as basically like an outside force to give you like salvation. Basically, as a skill, Yoichi can chant the mantra of giving thanks to the Amida to bring good fortune to them. Probably do like minor repelling of like curses and mind interfering effects. Give them a little bit of extra luck juice. Maybe something like in an FGO, probably something like just a slight crit damage up and probably a self debuff clear. Just get lucky. Final skill, Scattershot C-. This one's a funny one. This one I just absolutely like. Like I said, Nasu-No-Yoichi, fairly well-known historical figure, but not a lot of data about them. But I was able to do some classy FGO-style nonsense. So I read somewhere there was an anecdote about the young Nasu-No-Yoichi who was able to hit... They were so good at archery from even a young age, they were able to hit 2 out of 3 birds they aimed at.
Jesus.
So, like, yeah, okay, that's good, What that probably meant literally was 66% hit rate. Pretty good. Birds are fast. But, as a skill, because this is FGO, we can warp this. People are used to trick shots. This is basically a skill that says Yoichi can fire two arrows at 2 separate targets and hit them at the same time. As opposed to hitting 2 out of 3 in a row, you can hit 2 at once. And they can probably be fast-moving targets, at least as small as birds. No higher than 2 simultaneous hits, but just, probably worked into some animations and something. And honestly, FGO has a mechanic for increasing hit counts. Like, that's a thing both versions of Musashi do, but nobody else does. Even though, honestly, some servants could probably use a skill which fucks with their hit counts. So just like a weird little skill to, like, double hit counts on maybe certain, certain cards or just all cards as just like a funny thing. That could be a cool thing to come back from. And like I said, I was hurting for skills, and just this was a funny thing I read, and I'm like, wait, hold on. I'm not thinking Fate Brain enough. We can do something weird here.
Fate Brain.
I mean, yeah, just listen to some stuff. Hey, listen, you guys want to hear about Fate Brain? Slight aside, but once again, after a couple weeks off to work on the Rain Starter and rest my hand, I'm back to once again congealing the notes and the assets for Gil vs. the World 2.
Woo.
So hopefully that will be not too distant future. I need to show Lucky the prototype sometime to see if he has anybody we want to pull, maybe swap some people. But I've assembled a list of 24 servants. So if I just do, 1 a day of those notes and assets, that'll be basically done with the scripting process, because I had a lot of growing pains on formatting and other initial stuff, but we're through all that, so it's just, raw servant stuff. That'll take me about, a little under 2 weeks. If we go faster, that's faster if I really feel the jazz, but I'm dedicating myself to the at least 1 a day on account of, the desires of the United Bank of Monday. It would be nice to make a nice video that lots of people see and is maybe profitable. So, still back on that, but I've only done a few, but you will see Fate Brain. There's some, there's a lot of difference between how servants are described lore-wise and even what we get to see in FGO. Lots of weird stuff. But yeah, so, before we move on to Noble Phantasm, which you kind of know the rough outline for, but I got some extra notes. Servants normally have, armaments and designs and stuff. I'm imagining Nasu-No-Yoichi would be equipped with, the classic big Daikyubo, the horseback one that's as tall as a man. They're very big. They would probably have a lot of fun, but, simple archery animations. Like I said, they can do individual sniping, volley fire, probably have at least one that is actually, fire 2 arrows, to strike, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They would have been armed with a sword or knife of some sort as a backup weapon, but, there's that. Maybe even have, an extra attack where they, jump on horseback and fire some arrows.
I would expect probably there might be more than just one animation. There might be a couple. Hell, he
true.
could just be important. He could. His whole design could just have, or their whole design could just have the horseback motif.
Yeah, that could be. That would give us some different space. Art-wise, while depending on things, they'd probably be a little more covered than Ushiwaka. There would be a very similar design to the armor because while they are not of the same family, they were a servant of the Minamoto clan, so they would probably be geared out appropriately. We'll see if there's a giant hat. But definitely, some armor and the Daikyu. Possibly horse. Horses are cool. The Noble Phantasm is, Pin the Fan, the Senso Okotesuru. B+, anti-personnel Noble Phantasm. This is their single most famous legend, the ability to strike, the fan on a ship's mast in high surf from the coast on horseback. Very impressive, really cool. But obviously this is a Noble Phantasm, so, we're greatly focusing this down. This allows them to fire a singular arrow. That arrow ignores all, environmental conditions to fire. Doesn't matter where you're shooting from or how you're doing it. When you invoke the name, you fire a single arrow at a single target, which is, really gets in there. The selected target can be as small as a hand fan. You can get very small target area involved. Great for headshots. 360 no-scopes. The arrow itself is, an omen of victory. It's a sign that victory is assured. And also, because, you got to spice stuff up. We'll say it hits with the force of a high-pressure water cutter. Water is involved in the theme, so, just shoo, big flying arrow, strike the target. However, obviously, it's a single-shot focused target, so you can only use it to fire on a single enemy at a time and strike them directly. It's not good for, Revolver Ocelot-style trick shots or anything. You don't get to shoot around corners. But if you can draw a straight line from Nasu-No-Yoichi to the target, they can, hit something hard, fast, ignoring a lot of negative multipliers and stuff. In FGO, I would imagine this would be carried over as a very simple single-target Noble Phantasm. Probably, activate Sure Hit for a turn first. Probably do defense ignoring damage. And you could probably spice up the overcharge with something like, give the whole squad, 10% attack up for a turn, for, 3 turns or something, which scales with overcharge, so maybe capping out at, 30%, The arrow is the opening salvo of a battle that was won by Nasu-No-Yoichi's side, so, give a few vibes, give you some extra English. And, would probably involve, riding horseback into some elegantly Japanese-styled waves.
Yeah, make it look like a painting.
Yeah, like cool. A Sumi painting, and, fire the arrow, superimpose the image of the fan over the target enemy, and then, yeah, all kinds of pizzazz. And there you go. That's Fanservant Friday. Let's see. I mentioned working on Guild vs. the World 2 still. Anything else? And the one it's coming out. I think it's everything FJO related we got in the can right now.
FJO.
Besides, obviously, more Let's Talk FGO next week. So keep your eyes out for that. And as I said, it is the start of a new month. It's a great time to support us on Patreon. You get access to the audio downloads for Let's Talk FGO, What's Up, our actual plays, and lots of other stuff with a really big backlog. We've been doing Patreon quite a while, so there's if you're a binger, just as little as $1 a month gets you quite a lot of stuff if you want to go in the backlogs. And I know some patrons do go in the tank. I've seen some people dropping likes on Patreon for really, really old AP and even old What's Up audios. So if you're that sort, real cheap if you want to get in there and get in the tank, as it were. And $5 and higher patrons get access to the polls for Fanservant Friday and other stuff, and early releases of videos like Wanted, probably Guild vs. the World when it goes. I don't know if there'll be an audio version for that because the visual part will probably be pretty key. My plan is to format it a little bit like how OSP does their detailed diatribes. I'm going to build a slideshow. I will present the fact findings of my slideshow to Lucky. Lucky will get first riff opportunity before I even present my own conclusions. I don't know exactly when we'll be recording that, but high-level gold and higher patrons will probably be able to listen in on that. No word your comments will get in. Like I said, I'm actually gonna do probably some tighter audio editing on that one, like how I handled the best ofs, because I want it to be very nice and good. So yeah, but you guys might get a chance to listen in first, and like I said, the video post will go up to patrons early. Oh, and not related to that, but if Lucky is down for it again this month, I am pulling together notes for another Can Lucky guess if Yu-Gi-Oh cards are good. That's still in the early phase, though, but it's just another thing I've been thinking about, because that last one did pretty well, and it has been a few months. But yeah, so, yeah, it's just our usual, keep an eye on stuff. Obviously, next week, make sure to come back. We'll be done with that first week of hunting quests, so I don't know if they're actually going to run, 14 different hunting quests, right? Because it's pegged out for, 2 weeks. But by 7 days, we'll probably have seen if there's anything weird,
Yeah.
So keep that in mind. Obviously, keep your eyes peeled for any other weird banner stuff in JP as well. But we'll have that. Like I said, we're going to talk about more summer stuff, and if you want a breakdown of stats and strats for your summer Da Vinci, keep that in mind. Stay tuned on this channel, like I said, to see if I get a press copy of Samurai Remnant. We'll see. And tune in if you're watching this early as a patron or listening to it early. If you are consuming this early as a patron tomorrow. If you're watching this live on YouTube for the public, later today, once again, our podcast about anything and everything What's Up will be out. We'll have another week of talking about Armored Core. Obviously, a whole week has passed, though I don't think Lucky or I has gotten to New Game Plus yet.
No.
Maybe some initial responses about Sea of Stars, though I have also not picked that up myself yet. I mean, I've downloaded it, but I haven't actually booted it up. I was like, hold on, I want to actually give Baltheus some more tries.
I'm just going to ignore Axe.
There's stuff there. You guys can see how I felt about Baltheus on the episode. Also, Starfield reviews are out. Neither of us played Starfield, but, we can talk about it.
A bit.
We can mention it. It happened. And there's also some other gamey bop, doodly bops.
Doodly bops.
News, things, prices, other stuff. So, check that out. That'll be live stream, like I said, Saturday evenings / afternoons, depending on where you are. I guess, Sunday morning for some people who live in the future. But check that out and keep your eyes peeled. Like I said, we've also had other earlier streams if you're wanting more content from us, like Final Fantasy XIV, did an extra Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel stream that happened this week. Also did a regular Yu-Gi-Oh! Fail Betrayal. Monday, like he was back at Hollow Knight, having fun, killing bosses. Also, just to show you how fucking broken my brain is all the time, I said, having fun. My brain immediately said, isn't hard if you've got a library card. I'm just like, curse you formative years, when my brain was soft and easily wrinkled. I will never be bereft of this knowledge. Anyway, my brain's autocomplete aside, I think that's everything we got for Let's Talk FGO for this week.
Sounds about right.
For more.
See you then.
Well, happy hunting for treasure, everybody. Hope your adventure is good, and we will see you next time.
Next time.